So I'm going off of vibes here, but I think the Trump economy is going to end up being pretty decent. I think it's going to be an okay economy. I'm going off of a lot of vibes here. So typically, I make like a well researched video. I do a lot of editing. I sit in front of a camera, and I don't just go off of vibes, right? Like I have to myself, or what I think of myself as someone who's like researching the topic and really thinking this topic through. I'm just going off of vibes today. And I know right now it's kind of crazy to say that I think the Trump economy is going to be good. Uh, but again, that's why I'm not making like a proper video that I typically do. This is straight up me making a video off of vibes. I think that Trump is going to be a good economy because I think eventually he's going to get wise with the whole tariff stuff. I don't see a world where he continuously does tariffs every single fucking month and revokes them. Either he's going to do them or not. So I don't see a world where Trump is going to keep making the markets unsure. I don't think he's going to keep cutting uh, federal workers. Yeah, I mean, this is why I didn't want to make like an actual proper video. But I saw that the market was sort of correcting itself after the crazy crash it had. And I saw that people were reporting that there was a deflation of certain products like eggs and gas, even though I don't think it was clear cut. Oh yeah, here's a deflation product, da, 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 right? Like it was like maybe I think a gradual decrease and then an increase. Like I think it was kind of going up and down. I didn't read it, and that's why I'm not even gonna try to make this like proper research. I think, and this is my prediction that I had before Trump got elected, was that whoever inherits the this economy is walking into an avoided recession, a post-COVID world where you don't have to worry about the COVID ramifications as much as you did in 2020 through 2024. So I think I didn't expect the market to plummet. I didn't expect any of this craziness. So I'm weary. Like I didn't think Trump would even try the tariffs truthfully. I thought he was going to half-ass it. And he sort of is, but he's definitely more convicted than I thought. Like I never realized that he was so in love with the tariff idea. And he is. I mean, he's tried it. It's failed for him. He's pulled back multiple times for both Canada and Mexico, more so Mexico. Um, and that just leaves uncertainty with the market. He's really flip floppy with a lot of stuff. So it's, yeah, I mean, you got to look at it and go like, that's not great, but that's not a recession, indicator. Like I think there was multiple economic experts saying that there was a 25% of a recession, then it increased to the 30, and then increased to a 40. I see that and think like that uncertainty is I think a big key of why they keep saying that. I just don't think he's going to keep pulling this trigger. I don't think I don't know. Like, I think eventually he's going to realize that, like, yeah, tariffs aren't this great thing. Or, like, they're more of a pain in the ass. Because you can tell he doesn't really want to be there. Like, it's not like Trump is this diehard, like, tariff lover. I mean, if he is, then yeah, this is going to be the Trump presidency. But I think for the most part, we're just going to get this sort of, like, lukewarm tariff. It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. And again, that's not great. I mean, if you saw the markets, it was a big reaction to the uncertainty. But again, I don't think that's gonna like cause. I haven't seen anyone indicate that like the uncertain tariffs are gonna cause a recession. I mean, he has to like. I pull it back. I don't know if this would cause one, and I haven't seen any indicator that it was like if this continues, it's gonna happen. I've seen people more so just say like if he pulls the trigger on a tariff or if he maybe there wasn't certain. See, that's where I'm hesitant with this. But my thought is, I think he's just going to go one way. Like, if tariffs fully go on through, I don't think there's a recession, but I think it's going to hurt a lot of Americans. And if he just doesn't do it, then we're back to normal. And I just have a feeling we're just not going to do it. I think he's just going to become, like, lukewarm on the topic and, like, not really care. Maybe posture that he's doing, like, oh, I'm doing a tariff, but not really. Like again, it's the same. Like we've only been in this presidency for 2 months, and um, I just don't think he's gonna be that convicted. I think the older he's getting, the less I see him so active when it comes to stuff, and so adamant on stuff. And I don't know. He was really flip floppy in his first presidency. He's definitely more flip floppy now, and I just don't think he has it in him. Like I think he's going to be golfing more. I think he's golfed more than he did in his first presidency. I think he's very much like, I just don't care right now, and so like, take that as you will. Like that could either mean that he just doesn't care and he's just gonna go balls to the wall, or what other old people will do and just kind of half-ass it. Like I just don't see a world where he doesn't half-ass it. Like I don't know. I don't see a world where he's so consistent on a top, like the tariff thing. I think he's just gonna forget about the tariffs a year from now if he keeps running into these walls. It's just a pain in the ass to deal with, and all the critique. And I imagine every one of his staff and admin people are like, dude, we're not winning this tariff battle. Or if he finally gets it through, I think we'll become accustomed to the tariffs again. But none of this is like a recession indicator. I think all of I'm not an economic expert. I'm just purely going off of vibes. Again, why I'm not doing this like a proper video. So yeah, I just don't see a world where it doesn't take one form, right? Like he's going to have to pick a lane. He either gives up on the tariffs or he just does it. If we do this uncertainty for 4 years, I just think it's gonna suck. But does that lead to a recession? I don't know. Nothing I've read so far is like, this is gonna be the recession. Da, da. It's a plethora of things, right? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, this isn't ideal. I think it's gonna be an okay economy. I think things are going to go back in and decrease. Like we all knew the egg stuff was because of the swine or the avian flu. So avian flu is not going to last forever. The eggs are going to go cheap again. Gas, I think we're in this post-COVID world where there's less Ukraine stress, and people are all going back to normal, and gas will never get to that $1 it was during COVID, but it's definitely not going to get as expensive as it was with the post-COVID inflation. I think it'll level out, and we have connections with Saudis. We have the connection with the Russian government, also with the ceasefire deal coming soon. So I just think it's going to be a great time if you're Trump. I think he's going to go back to like I don't think it's going to be this like greatest economy ever unless he truly fucks up. I can't see a world where like, do you think he's going to really like, I don't know, like take over Gaza and waste all this money? And the tax cuts aren't going to be that great, but they're being held up, and I think we're just going to cut all these like social programs and fuck over those small people, but like the economy is going to be fine. It's going to stable out for like the middle, higher class people. So I just don't think it's going to matter. Like those poor people that are going to be kicked off of Medicare and Medicaid, like no one's going to give a shit, on the grand scheme of it. I think it's going to hurt America. I think it's going to hinder us in our future. But I think for like the next 4 years, like by the time Trump's presidency ends, I think there's going to be a lot of vibes of like, oh no, it's actually not too bad. Think about it. Like people are going to think of the worst of the post-COVID world and then forget about, how bad they're going to remember how bad those were and just kind of accept like, oh, this is okay, I guess, or they're going to forget, or they're going to used to. Like, I think Americans have really a fickle mind when it comes to, really having this like hard stance on the economy. Like I saw some people who were rooting for Biden to get out of office to get better prices were like, hey, I will pay more for a better America. And it's like, there's no consistency with that type of person. But they were also never going to change. The median voter might get fucked over by Medicare, but I just don't think they vote, like I could be wrong. Trump has done it before where like he made himself a pariah after his presidency. Like people really fucking hated him after his presidency. Yeah, of course he won, but there was a point with like the riots and his denial of the election that people fucking hated the guy. With COVID, of course. So I don't look at this world as like clear cut. I think humans are pretty fickle. They might love him years from now, but I think that they're going to get really annoyed. His disapproval ratings is already pretty crazy. The stock market is going to leave a bad taste, but things are going to go back to normal and people are going to forget. He's going to be looked at as like a moderate success to many people. Even with the turbulence that he's created, it's going to be hard for him to royally fuck up this like pretty decent economy that he inherited. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of where I fall. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Peace.